Hello and welcome. I'm Ben the Best 5 and I'm coming at you with more Kerbal Space Program content. Now this week's video is a little bit shorter because, well, I'm quite busy right now. I didn't have much time to make something. However, here it is, a small video. Also shout out to RGRM for their support. Pretty cool bunch of guys. If you play Roblox and are interested in Clone Wars groups, I would definitely recommend them. Anyway, about this mission. I have previously been asked in the comments quite a lot by a large number of users about SSTOs. They seem to be a rather efficient way of transporting stuff into orbit. And they kind of are and they also kind of aren't. And I think I finally found a way that I could finally use one to be quite efficient, but also practical. So for this mission, I haven't unlocked the rapier, but I've unlocked basically all the rest of the stuff down that path. So I've built an SSTO using whiplashes and a poodle, and I've in fact used it to, as you can see there, probably by the orbital line there that's being indicated as the target, that I have to put a payload into orbit in that location, and for a contract, it required a materials bay, and that's all it really required. There, as you can see in the bay right there. Now, I did actually have quite a few difficulties getting it out of the cargo bay, so but I eventually got it out, so that's why it looks a bit different, just because I had to do a lot of moving around and shunting, because it was really tight in there, and getting it out was not the easiest of tasks. But anyway, and now I'm going to just quickly put it into orbit around Kerbin in a correct orbit. And here I am just turning on the engine and nearly hitting the vehicle, but not quite. Also, this should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm just basically going to apoapsis, creating a node, and then creating a few more just to bring out orbit to where it needs to be for the contract, which is pretty simple stuff. The thing about SSTOs, right, is they're more efficient than most other forms of vehicle, until you have to go beyond low Kerbin orbit. Once you can't go past Kerbin's orbit, they kind of become a bit inefficient just because you have to bring them back, or else they're not worth it, and expending all of that fuel can actually sometimes counteract the advantages. However, I think I found an example of where it would in fact be quite advantageous and useful like this. Simply if we go to low Kerbin orbit and then use it basically as a space shuttle to deploy our payload and then bring ourselves back without going further than low Kerbin orbit, because space shuttles function in a similar sort of way. They only ever went to low Earth orbit and deployed things that went to, all sorts of orbits, some of them even beyond Earth's sphere of influence. So I kind of went for a similar model, and that actually turned out to be very efficient. For this mission, I in fact do show you the numbers. Anyway, that was me deorbiting. I do aim for just a little bit beyond. And because, well, one of the issues with SSTOs is aerodynamics. You have to either design something that's good for low atmosphere aerodynamics or high atmosphere aerodynamics. And the unfortunate thing for me was mine was very, very good at low atmosphere aerodynamics, which meant that we kind of lost control during reentry, which meant that we slowed down very fast, much faster than I was hoping for. However, the good thing about this is we have plenty of very efficient air-breathing engines remaining, so even though we do lose control a few times and end up off target quite a bit, I was able to use these engines here to correct ourselves and perform a powered landing all the way back to the runway. That's one advantage that this craft has, which a space shuttle didn't have, because if a space shuttle did, deorbit different to how it was expecting, it couldn't turn on its engines like this one can and power itself back to the landing site. They'd have to find an alternative landing site somewhere, or perhaps bail the crew out or something. I'm not sure. They never really had a situation like that, and I haven't read into it that much, what they would do if something like that happened. So yeah, but anyway, here I am just performing a powered burn on the air-breathing engines just to bring ourselves up past the mountains and down onto the Kerbal Space Center's runway, and then that will wrap up this SSTO mission using what I was able to unlock using the science I'd gathered so far in this save. And yes, I am using rather small landing gear. That is just simply because those were the only landing gear I had unlocked and available. Now to land something like this, you basically want to... the flip was accidental, but it kind of looks cool. Anyway, you kind of want to light it up and kind of go in shallow, kind of pull down, and to land you can't be at full, you can't have your throttle pulling all the way up. So what you want to do, right, is you want to be above the area you want to be at, and still allow for some room to pull up, because basically what you've got to do is you got to pull up just before you hit the runway to bring yourself down successfully. Obviously you can't pull up too hard or too early, because that will actually send you into a glide again. However, just as you land just like that, you can then quickly pull up a little bit, and now I just need to use the rest of the runway. Actually I need to turn around at the end because I don't have enough, because I did land quite late on the runway, but I can, because of those wheels there, turn myself around and bring myself to a nice and gentle stop and recover my vehicle at 100% recovery value, which means that the mission only cost about $10,000, as you'll see from the next screen, because I decided to leave it in so you can actually see all of just how much this actual mission saved. As you can see there, it only cost, the actual number was 10,000 more than what we recovered there. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked it, leave a like. Please subscribe. Please comment if you want to tell me something. Anyway, thank you.